Good afternoon, freelancers. Welcome to another Anthem video. I'm PTT, and today we're going to be looking at some new information surrounding Anthem and its post-launch state. Now, as always, I will leave a link in the video description if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But bottom line is that a new article dropped a few days ago with a little bit of information in it that I wanted to cover and pass on to you guys. Now, it's not a lot, but in my opinion, it is at least worth knowing. So without any messing around, let's just jump straight into it. Let's start off with information on post-launch content then, and start with a direct quote. There are a lot of things coming post-launch. We have many different teams who have been working on that stuff for a few weeks already. So you can see different cosmetic items, different creatures, maybe a new region to explore. You'll have different events, different weather states. Anthem is a dynamic world. If you have rain right now, it applies to your jets, you can fly for longer, and it cools down your jets. You can use electricity and therefore create larger effects. Try to imagine that we can create different weather states and apply that, so not only are new parts of the world going to behave differently, but old parts of the world as well. If it's day or if it's night, some creatures may show up or may be more powerful. We can play with all those variables and create a new narrative for the game. Now, this has me pretty excited for several reasons, guys. Firstly, the confirmation of new regions. Now, Anthem is of course going to have a pretty large map at launch anyway, but to know that new regions and areas will be added post-launch is definitely something to be excited about. I would assume that new regions would come with new missions, new strongholds, and obviously new areas in free play to explore. But more importantly, and this is only speculation, but most games when adding in new areas also include new loot, new bosses, and new secrets to be found. So if BioWare also add these in with a new region, then the longevity of the game just got even longer, and that's definitely something to be excited about. Secondly then, let's talk about the mention of different creatures. This again I feel is a bit of a given with new regions, as I would imagine that certain creatures are specific to certain areas of the map, and adding in a new area would definitely see new beasts for us to slay, but again, to see it confirmed is yet another good sign of the game post-launch. Next, we get excited for the mentioning of new events, and of course my mind goes straight to the Shaper Storms that we know are in game, but as yet know very little about. If these kind of events become something that are rolled out on a regular-ish basis, then again that is something really cool and will definitely help with keeping the game replayable for many hours after the main story. And finally, from this little snippet, I want to call attention to a mechanic I wasn't aware of in game, and that's how the game's weather system and day and night cycle can directly affect things like our suit's flying ability and the aggressiveness of the creatures in game. Now, I think this is really cool, and I'm really looking forward to getting into game and finding out firsthand what creatures have certain strengths and weaknesses when certain conditions present themselves. Next then, let's quickly cover something I mentioned before, and that is a pilot skill tree that becomes available at endgame. Now, we know that when levelling up through the initial game we will get pilot rewards, but a pilot skill tree is something completely different. If I pull up a screenshot of the official Anthem website, then you will see that they talk about pilot progression and how you can spend points on skills that are tied to your pilot and not your javelin. Now, the example you can see on screen is longer flight time and higher mobility during combat. Now, unfortunately, the article doesn't get any new information about what kind of skills will be available, because the interviewer was basically told that they didn't want to reveal it yet, but that's enough to at least confirm that a pilot-specific skill tree will become available at endgame, and again, this is something to look forward to. Now, while we don't know exactly how this system will play out, in my mind, I'm envisioning an Assassin's Creed style skill tree that allows you to spec to certain things, and each tree will be dedicated towards a certain aspect of the game. Now again, that's just my idea on it, as nothing is confirmed, but when we hear things like skill trees, the only place my head ever goes is Assassin's Creed or Skyrim, so yeah, I basically just wanted to put it out there as more of an example than anything else. Now then, that is going to wrap up all I wanted to cover, guys. I know it's not a lot, but to me it's good information to know going forward. Now, as always, I would love to know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. Have a great day, and until the next one, I'll catch you all soon.